Start a counter for 12 minutes. Alright, here we go again to quickly summarize what it is that I'm currently doing is I'm a software engineer and I'm currently trying to stream every day and solving a lead code question. Right now I'm solving Advent of Code, which is specifically designed for Christmas time, like this Advent time. It happens like 12 days of the first 12 days of the December, so I'm solving it. And right now we're going to solve the question 4. This will be my first time solving this, so I don't know the answer. We'll go through it together. I have a quite limited time today, again and again. Sorry for that, but let's go. We have printing department question. We will write the escalator down to the printing department. They're clearly getting ready for Christmas. They have lots of large rolls of paper everywhere, and there's even a massive printer in the corner. Decorating here will be easy. They can make their own decorations. What you really need is a way to get further into the North Pole base while the elevators are offline. Actually, maybe we can help with that, one of the elves replies when you ask for help. We're pretty sure there's a cafeteria on the other side of the back wall. There's a cafeteria there. If we could break through the wall, oh, you would be able to keep moving. It's too bad all of our forklifts are so busy moving those big rolls of paper around. If you can optimize the work the forklifts are doing, maybe they would have time to spare to break through the wall. Alright, so we are optimizing the work of forklifts. The rolls of paper at are arranged on a large grid. The elves even have a helpful diagram, your puzzle input, indicating where everything is located. For example, this. Okay, this is the grid. The grid is, I don't know what is 8, 6, 9, 10. 10 here. It's also, yeah, it's a square grid of 10 times 10, 10 like 10 rows, 10. The forklifts can only access a roll of paper. By the way, I really like the representing as a roll of paper. Yeah, I really like it. Looks definitely like it. And yeah, looks good. The forklifts can only access a roll of paper if there are fewer than 4 rolls of paper in the 8 adjacent positions. If you can figure out which rolls of paper the forklifts can access, they'll spend less time looking and more time breaking down the wall to the cafeteria. In this example, there are 13 rolls of paper that can be accessed by a forklift, marked with X. So for example, this one doesn't have, it has fewer than 4 rolls of paper, right? It has one, sorry. So for this one, on the top, there is nothing there. On the left, there is nothing there. On the left and to the down, we have 1. And there comes another one. The count is 2 right now. This one is empty. This one, yeah, we have it there. So we have 3. So it's fewer than 4 rows of paper. Okay, then we can go ahead and have this one. And we can move on to this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can also get yes as well. This one is tricky. This one you have 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So this one, this one you can't have. So as you see, it's stated like this, right? Like this. Okay, so consider your complete diagram of the paper roll locations. How many rolls of paper can be accessed by a forklift? All right. So basically, you're checking you're going through each position in the grid, and you'll be calling for each position in the grid. You'll be calculating if it is accessible by forklift or not. That is quite a big one. Let's go ahead. I already started the stream, right? Yeah. No, not there, not there. New folder here, Q4. Let's have the input txt here. Here it is. What it's okay, yeah. Column wise, it's also 140, so it's a square grid. Doesn't matter too much, but yeah. So part one, pi. Basically, we'd like to read grid. Yeah, you can read the grid and you can write it down to start with, at the very least. And yeah, you can pass the path of the file. Maybe you can put like Q4 and put .txt, right? Once you read the grid, it will be it will be some kind of, we can fill it out later on, but it will have the path here, and it will return a list of strings, basically. Actually, you can also type into it like it's going to be either dot or at symbol, right? But it's okay. I think we can call it like a string, and we'll let's pass right now. Doesn't matter. But like this grid is technically right now a list of strings. Basically 2D grid, right? Two-dimensional grid. And as I said, for each position on this grid, we're going to do some calculation. So for I that represent, like, we can call it like row, right? Let's call it like this. For row in range, land grid. I'm assuming it's a square, so we can basically do it like this. We can also have it like this. Doesn't matter. Let's have it like this. We're basically having a row and column. A position is basically a row and column. All right, and then we'll calculate is accessible, and we're going to pass the position, which is row and column, and that's basically it, right? You can pass the grid, but I think I won't pass it right now. Depending of if it's acceptable or not, we'll return a answer, right? We'll construct an answer. So maybe we can you can say like output, right? And not like, yeah, like, yeah, output grid, we can call it. I think we can also call it an input grid, right? And I'll pass this thing here. And for the output grid, I think we can construct it. Basically, I don't know, the trick is here. Basically, you want to deep copy the input grid, because, yeah, actually, I think it's okay. We can also like modify the grid here in place, right? I thought of return, like keeping it another thing, but maybe no. I think we have to do it. Yeah, I mean, there's some kind of optimization going on that we can try. Like we can store this new X symbol there as well, but that's okay. I think I'll skip that. I want to, I think from copy, import deep copy, I'm assuming, and I'll deep copy the, I'm guessing the input grid should work here. And from here on, if it's accessible, basically I'll update the output grid, the row, the column to have X, right? This kind of thing. We want to have X. Okay. And I would say once we do that, we'll in the end basically return the output grid. But here we don't return anything, so we'll just print it, or we can just write it down, like write output grid, or export or whatever. You'll just, I don't know, you can pass it here, I guess. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, that's it. And then we're going to implement this is accessible thing, right? Row and column, and it will return a boolean. Let's pass it for now, and also we'll have this. Let's do it here. Left. Yeah. Right grid. We can also call it like this, I guess. The path, I don't care. Oh my god. Stop. Start the counter for 15 minutes. Alright, and it will not return anything. Alright, and right grid, I will call it here. It's unfortunately a bit messy. But yeah, can I put this thing to the very top? I'm guessing so. Perhaps could be better, but no, it's not. I can't because read grid is there. Okay, it's okay. I think everything is written right now. We can just fill it up just to check, like, if everything is fine. We can say it's always return true, all right, independent of row and column. And I want you to read the file with open path. I think read encoding. I think UTF-8 could work here. I don't know. We'll see. And as file, right? F, and then f.read lines, I would say should do it. And then I want you to return this. Then perhaps you can also print it, right? Let's start from here. What? String object? Does not support item assignment. Okay, this is a string object. Well, what's the, this is the, yeah, it has this things, right? I don't like it. Okay, so this last thing has disappeared, and this is the input array. Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Right. I think I can have this thing here. Cursor tab disable, please. Yes. Yeah, I'm guessing so. Let's see. Yeah, now it worked. And then it did the job and it writes apparent the grid. Let's see how it looks like. Basically, with open output Q4 output txt mode I just write should work. Let's do it like this. Encoding I don't need to break, like I think it's okay. And of course as f dot write how does it work? Writes a string to string. Write lines. Line separateness are not added, so it's usual for each of the lines provided to have a line separator. Okay, so I'm expected to do it. Okay, for yeah, for basically we can call it grid. I like to call it a grid for line in grid. I like to join them up, and with this one I'd also like to put this bad boy to the end, \n, and I'd like to put it, basically write it as this, and in the end that will be it should be it. We have the output. It's yeah, all right, it seems to be working fine. Basically here we are reading the grid, here we are writing to the grid, and we call this read grid here, output grid here, The only thing right now is accessible claim. You have to check like all the three, check all 8 dimensions, right? And return, check all 3 dimensions, edge case corners, right? Corners or like sides, and then return true if is accessible, or we can say like is accessible if for neighbors, if there are right. The checking of the paper is what's the if dot, right? Basically you can have neighbor indexes, right? You can calculate it, but let's have it in terms of, I think like basically you will have some kind of, I'm trying to remember, like I think these are the only options that for you, and the same, right? And directions, or like basically delta, right? That's the right word. And you'll have some kind of combinations of it. You'll have -1 or you'll have +1 or 0 1, you know, and it can change. Basically you'll have okay, for I in range, then delta, or for I in delta, for j in delta, neighbor deltas, append, it's going to be ij, right? Please print it right now for me, and I'll continue. Let's return true here, as always. So basically we have these 3 options. Here they're like, I think I can also, I would also love to make it like this, neighbor deltas. Okay, and we are going to go through for delta in neighbor deltas. Has paper, right? We can count it. It doesn't really matter. It starts with this, and you'll check like if input grid row plus delta 0 is, and also column plus delta 0 1. This, what's going on? this is one. So actually this is this, right? This is delta. My brain is not working today. Difficult. All right, so this should be 1. So we're going over them. This one we should skip, right? It's not neighbor, but the rest are the neighbors. We have 3, 6, 8. So we have that ones. If input grid, this one has this symbol, we're going to increase has paper count by 1. Otherwise we'll continue, and in the end we'll check if return true if has paper count is less than 4, else false. What's the problem here? The problem is on the corners and sides, some of these dimensions could be out of bounds, right? Check out of bounds. Basically, you'll check if rho plus delta 0 is equals or like, yeah, maybe it's like smaller than 0. That's a problem, right? You should just continue with that to the next one. If column, maybe we can also continue, yeah, if column dot delta 1 below 0, again continue please. There's also another option here that we should do an OR, and it is the other way around. If the rho the delta 0 is bigger or equals to length of input grid 0, right? Or like length of the input grid, right? Can we do it this perhaps? Or like what's the correct term here? Not the length, but like the squares one side grid size, or I don't know, grid size, we can call it like that. It could be len input grid. Okay, it's a square anyways, so we'll just put this one everywhere. All right, so here as well, this is wrong, but yeah, like this, here, here. Okay, basically you're now checking if it's like the higher than or equals to the grid size. That's also we should skip. And exactly the same thing here coming. Because if it's out of bounds, that direction, that neighbor is not in the square, then there is no paper there, right? We don't increase this one, so we just continue to the next one. Yeah, I think so. I think this should work fine. Something is written there. right? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe what? So the question is, how many rolls of paper can be accessed by a forklift? Oh, oh, all right. It doesn't want me to write the output grid. Okay. It just wants me to um, increase this thing and which print it at the end, right? How many are accessible? 2198. That's not the right answer. Let's try this one. I find it a lot more than that. What's our output then? XXXXX. Oh, wow. Oh, 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 of course. You have to check first. Like, you don't need to do this check every row and column, right? If it is on this row and column, if it is, there is a row there, right? Otherwise, you don't need to do that. You just go ahead and do what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do. You gotta do. Alright. I'll need a refactoring for sure for the part 2, but I will continue working on that tomorrow. And I wish you a nice evening and have a nice